in terms of the ripple effect on the rest of the roster or what else they could do throughout the rest of the offseason, I want to play this clip from Ross Atkins earlier today when he was posed that question, like what else could happen with a lot of big names out there, Tucker, Bichette, and others. Here's how Ross answered that.
We'll always be open to making our organization and team better if there's a way to do that. At this point, we were answering the question back in early December and even in November that we felt good about our team as we were set at that point, and that remains the question. That remains the case, and we've made it better. So we do feel good about our team. The one thing that I would add is additions at this point will start to cut away at playing time from players that we feel are very good major league pieces. So we have to factor that in.
That last part, I think, is a really important point. And what you just kind of talked about with Clement and Barger and what could happen there. But I think it poses a very important question that probably is not being brought up enough. Like, how much change is too much change? I know everyone's going crazy now, and it's EA Sports, and we're all in dynasty mode, and go get this guy and bring that guy in and just load up. At some point, we got to remember, like, they were in Game 7 of the World Series. This is not a team that won 75 games last year. This was the best team in the American League, the top seed in the American League. They look great throughout the playoffs. Being too loyal, it can be just as detrimental as being too active, vice versa. So where do you stand on this, Keegan, in terms of how you interpret that comment and most importantly, how it could apply to the pursuit of Tucker and or Bichette?
Yeah, you need to look at the net outcome now. If the Blue Jays had a center fielder who just plain sucked, you go sign whoever and you come out in the positive. Right now, I think when you look at Bichette and Tucker individually, with Bichette, how much of an upgrade is he giving you at second base? I consider him a second baseman now, over Ernie Clement every day. And you need to be really honest with yourself. I know that Ernie Clement had a great postseason and everyone loves him. And damn it, you should love the guy. But you need to be honest with yourself about who he is over the course of a season. How much is Bichette an upgrade over that? Versus in the outfield, who would Kyle Tucker be taking reps away from? The short answer is that it doesn't matter because he's really good. But probably Nathan Lucas, to an extent, Anthony Santander. You've got to do the math on how big an upgrade that would be. So you're not upgrading from zero anymore. The money's really got to be worth it. But I think that when you're talking about players like Bichette, like Tucker, they're worth it. We'll see where their markets come to. I think everyone's waiting for the market to come down for one of these guys to do what Alex Bregman did a year ago, where you take a shorter deal, have some opt-outs, make it easier for everyone. But at this point, I still think the Blue Jays make a ton of sense for both Bichette and Tucker. I think that Tucker makes a bit more sense given the position, frankly, at this point. But when the money is right, each of them fits this roster, makes the Blue Jays better. And, God, it's already been an amazing offseason. One of the best off seasons in Blue Jays history. But I do think the Blue Jays have room for more, and I think the motivation's there.
Yeah, which is pretty incredible. And, like the turning over of arms, that is inevitable. It's going to happen. Like you presume Scherzer's done, Bassett's done. Okay, you go get Cease, you go get Ponce, you bring in Rogers. You knew there was going to be some turnover in the bullpen. I think there's still potential for more there. But in terms of the everyday at-bats, like there's only so many you can get. Like arms, you can never have too many. Bats, you can. And also there is a budget here, you would presume. At some point, Rogers is going to say, all right, that's enough. So if they go out and get one of these guys, Tucker and or Bichette, regardless of the length of the deal, we're talking 2026 payroll, it's going to be a lot of money. Do you think they would be prepared? I would have to believe they are preparing for it, that if and when that happens, pretty quickly afterwards, you're going to see a trade, whether that's Santander that goes, whether it is maybe Ernie Clement, selling him high. Again, he's a folklore player here right now in Toronto. Everyone loves him. But could you be selling him at a height that maybe isn't actually realistic for what you project he'll be in the rest of his career? Is Barrios 100% a part of this roster moving forward? Like, how much of that do you think could be determined still, Keegan? Forget just signing a guy or two, trades that might come afterwards.
Definitely an option. I wonder if that happens now or if the Blue Jays would just lean in for a year, say, screw the taxes, screw the extra charges. we're going for it heavy this year. And a year from now, where let's see, guys, George Springer, Dalton Varsho, Kevin Gosman, Shane Bieber, and others come off the books. Then you can try to reset your books a little bit more. Because when I look at this offseason going into spring training, like you said earlier, everyone wants to play video game. Okay, cool. Trade Barrios, trade Santander. The same reason that people are saying that is the same reason that the Pirates or the Reds or the Padres or whoever you call will say, no, thank you, unless you eat most of this money, which is what you're trying to get rid of in the first place. And I don't think the Jays are super eager to throw in a prospect to make teams take that money. That's kind of what you have to do. You have to pay them to take it. I don't think they're eager to do that either. So with Barrios especially, I'm most interested in the Barrios case because he's been so good for so long. And now suddenly he's landed in this awkward spot. And these things tend to take care of themselves. Someone will pull a hamstring or have a bad spring. It happens. But he is the one I'm most curious about middle of spring training, late spring training. If needs are opening up somewhere else, if somebody blows an elbow in another city, do they come calling for Barrios? Maybe there's more room there.